my channel, and I am JY. I have entered my university for about half a year, and it is really tiring and stressful. There are countless homework and also assignments, and I'm dying. So in this video, we gonna discuss about the Malaysia's education system, whether it is good or bad, and this video will be in two parts. The first part will be the aspiration of education system based on Malaysia Education Development Plan, as known as PPPM, and the second part will be the implication of those aspirations to teachers in school. I will be talking for so long.
The next day.
Okay, let's get started. First, let us look at some statistics of Malaysia's education system. According to the Program for International Student Assessment in 2018, the performance of Malaysian students is less satisfying. And even until the year of 2022, the mean scores are even worse. This is due to an education system that is not suitable for the students, causing them to have low performance in academics as well as curriculum. Therefore, we should continue to improve the education system by taking action to fulfill all the aspirations based on PPPM. The first aspiration is bilingual skills. This aspiration is partially successful because the Ministry of Education has appointed and focused on the learning of English and Malay language in all schools, while Mandarin and Tamil as elective languages. Therefore, almost all students, no matter in kindergarten, primary schools, or secondary schools, are able to speak at least a little English and Malay language because they have the chance to learn them in the classroom. For me, it is very important to master these two languages because English is the international language that helps us to communicate all around the world, while Malay language is the national language that we are compulsory to learn and understand. It is a good phenomenon that many parents nowadays concerned about the future of their children and choose to interact with them using English. However, if we look at the mean candidates' achievement on SPM for the compulsory subjects in 2015, the English language is the weakest in the average of SPM candidates. I believe there are some improvements in these 9 years, but this can help us to know that English language is the most serious problem among the compulsory subjects. Actually, I can't find any other information. So, we need to try to overcome this kind of imbalance. To do this, teachers should know their students' standard in different languages. Teachers of different languages should communicate with each other for further improvement. For instance, a group of students who are weak in English but good in Malay language, with communication, the Malay language teacher will know this, and the teacher should praise their students but advise them to improve their English so that the students will know their weak points and try to make some changes. Besides, teachers should set realistic goals for students. Students have to know what they will have to achieve before they put in all effort, and this can help them to succeed more easily. For example, teachers can provide targets like A+, A, or B+, based on their own abilities. Thirdly, in teaching languages, Teachers can apply the use of materials wisely. We all like to play games. At least I do. So I believe that interesting games can attract the attention of students. By doing this, the knowledge of grammar and vocabulary, for instance, can be transferred into the minds of the students. Teachers can also give some prizes as encouragement to the students who are able to answer the questions correctly. Teachers should also know the performance of each person well, and if there are some problems for them to understand some concepts of a language, the teacher should provide support and additional guidance to solve it. All language teachers must put in the same effort to achieve a balance of understanding and achievement in bilingual skills. If possible, teachers can probably try to master the first language of students to communicate smoothly with their students. Let us move on to the next aspiration. Malaysia hopes to give universal access and full enrollment of education to all students, including those who live in rural areas. However, there are many students who have no opportunities to get adequate education or even go to school. According to Development of Statistics Malaysia in 2021, 446,428 students enrolled in Year 6, and in 2022, only 406,504 students enrolled in Form 1, with an addition of 12,995 students enrolled in removed class, which is peralihan. From this statistic, we noted that only 94% of children actually continue their studies from Year 6 to Form 1 in 2022. In real numbers, this means that 26,929 children dropped out of school in 2022. This may be caused by poverty, as underprivileged families are facing financial burdens and unable to afford the educational fees of their children. The sickness of parents can also cause low access of children to education. Not only that, discrimination and prejudice on gender, race, and social status can also lead to the difficulties in achieving equality between citizens. And any city that has a party identity in a country will have fewer chances to expose to education and even occupation. So the humble status can lead to a low extent of having education. To deal with these two problems, awareness campaigns should be continuously organized in schools and also communities. To settle the issue of economic pressure, the government of Malaysia has offered sponsorships, financial assistance, and scholarships to support students to proceed with their studies. Case in point, PTPTN Education Financial Scheme and the International Scholarship of Malaysia, which is MIS. Next, rural areas have a lack of teachers or the teachers are not trained professionally. To tackle this problem, training of teachers should be carried out systematically to produce qualified teachers. Lastly, the government should allocate money and funding for building and constructing new schools with enough facilities, especially electronic devices in rural areas, to make sure that the students can get a good quality of education. The third aspiration is the abilities of students to apply the use of knowledge learned, which are literate and numerate in their life and society. This is to ensure that they manage to create value and contribute to the community and country. They are not only remembering and memorizing all things in the textbooks, but are able to understand and use them thoroughly and perfectly in daily life. To do this, students should master the core subjects like Malay language, English, mathematics, science, and history. However, many students do not know the necessity of mastering these subjects and even had to do so. But actually, it is very crucial and important for them to understand these main subjects. Because if we know mathematics, it helps us to calculate and count our money and budget correctly. While if we know science, we can also solve some technical problems in our life easily. Besides that, students are encouraged to participate in sports, arts, and music as additional talents. On this point, many schools emphasize academic performance and ignore the importance of discovering students' potential. They decide to repeal all curriculum activities in schools so the students can focus on studies. Nevertheless, we should admit that curriculum activities are parts of education that should not be cancelled or deleted. Through these activities, students can not only be healthy but can also find their own unique strengths and hobbies. These kinds of hobbies can be progressively cultivated to foster the students' abilities. To achieve this, teachers are suggested to use the SMART method, which stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. These principles can help students to design effective and reachable learning goals to increase efficiency. Moreover, teachers should develop students' skills by encouraging active speaking and listening. Teachers should ask their students to do more presentations and sharing sessions in class to improve their communication skills. A mistake that always happens in class is many excellent and brilliant students who are extremely good in academics do not know how to explain the knowledge and information learned in words. They only know how to write, but do not know how to speak. Therefore, communication skills need to be trained because of the saying goes, practice makes perfect. In my opinion, preparing a lot of homework is not a useful way for students to learn and gain knowledge. When there is too much homework, students will feel stressed and tense. This can affect their emotions and cause bad results in examinations. To overcome this issue, teachers should give a moderate amount of homework based on the standard of the students, but should also engage in more practices in class because repeated exercises can boost their memory. Most students are not willing to do homework at home, but they are better able to absorb the knowledge taught by the teachers in the classroom. I have heard many comments from parents that their children can hardly concentrate in class due to numerous distractions that are able to disturb their learning. Some of them may find the teaching of teachers quite boring. Teachers can make use of technology by using LCD screens, computers, or laptops in teaching to increase the interest of students in learning. Some games can also be planned and conducted in class to create a fun atmosphere for learning. For science subjects, teachers can organize experiments for the students to obtain real and physical experiences. This can stimulate their five senses, which are sight, hearing, smell, touch, and taste. Without realizing it, students can understand the topic learned negligently. In short, teachers should be creative and innovative in designing the learning process. Furthermore, Malaysia aspires to the attitude development of students. Students should not only achieve outstanding performance in academics and the curriculum, but also need to exhibit desirable behaviors. When I was in secondary school, many of my friends and classmates who performed very well in all domains still spoke rudely and even discussed of color jokes.
No.
This made me think that it is true that good academic performance does not necessarily equal good character. But for me, good behavior is far more important than good results because in this world, we must interact with other people and social life cannot be avoided. We should manage our interpersonal relationships to prevent any troubles related to quarrels, arguments, and misunderstandings. Therefore, educators must highly value the development of students' moral character. For example, students must be resilient in both positive and negative situations. Students should also be cooperative and collaborative when working with others. To nurture the good character of students, moral education should be emphasized so that they can differentiate between right and wrong and develop into rational and responsible individuals. As a suggestion, schools can establish associations for each religion to be joined by students so that they can expose high moral standards from their own beliefs and practices. Teachers should care about their students' well-being and if something seems abnormal or unusual, teachers can talk to students to understand them and if necessary, contact students' parents. Some schools provide tasks for parents such as checking homework and assisting with revision. This can help students become more disciplined and engage parents in their children's education, ensuring the quality of education. Lastly, teachers should be good role models by avoiding negative behaviors because the behavior of teachers can influence the behavior of students. Young students are likely to imitate their teachers' behavior, so teachers should not only teach them to be good, but also exemplify good behavior themselves. Now, we move on to part 2, which is the implications for teachers as educators. Teachers who purposely learn the first language of students can communicate with their students without obstacles. They can teach other languages by explaining using the first language. For example, teaching English using Malay language or Mandarin. This can develop bilingual identity formation unconsciously. Besides, setting goals for students can help them to have clear direction to strive. This can also help teachers to achieve their own goal as well, which is to promote students with good literary skills. Secondly, if the equipments in rural areas are upgraded, the teaching process will become more convenient and comfortable. This is because with some utilities such as LCD screen, laptop, and other electronic gadgets, many activities can be held for the teaching and learning. Teachers can also use the internet to do research to improve the quality of teaching. Other than that, when the discrimination matter can be resolved and the economy can be strengthened, more children can go to school to receive education. Students can associate with friends of diverse and various race and civilization to create a harmonious atmosphere. Moreover, good quality of facilities provide a safer environment for teachers to teach. They have lower risks and will not cause the teachers and students to be in jeopardy. With comfortable place of teaching, pressure of the teachers can also be reduced to minimum. Thirdly, with active speaking and listening and also practical learning, students can solve real-life challenges. This can trigger their critical thinking skills. Teachers will not have to spend a lot of time to explain with the students because they manage to understand everything by themselves. The students will become more independent, which can think by themselves without always rely on their teachers. The teachers will not feel tired or will have more energy after teaching. Last but not least, vicious students are able to resolve conflicts peacefully, and this can refrain from many hassles. Teachers do not need to waste their time and energy on approaching to the students' entanglement, so they can focus more on the lesson, and the students can also learn more in class. Teachers can finish the syllabus without a hitch. As the saying goes, killing two birds with one stone. That's all from me. Goodbye!